Shalom, good morning.
Boker Tov,
Boker Tov.
Shalom.
Good morning. Welcome back to the study. We're going to begin, Parshah Chukat of symbolism. So we're going to look into that. And we just finished reading last week about Korah, the rebellion of Korah. And now Yahweh gave the Levites their instructions and how they're going to serve the people between them and Yahweh, right? So now we're looking at Chukat, which is part of what they have to do. And we'll say the blessing and we'll begin. We're reading in Bar, that's Numbers, chapter 19.
Amen. Baruch Yahweh Kambora, Baruch Yahweh Kambora Leolam Bae, Baruch Atah Yahweh Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar banu mikohamim, Banatan lanu et Torato, Baruch Atah Yahweh Noten HaTorah. Amen.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so again, that's Bar, that's Numbers, chapter 19, verse 1. Let me share the screen and you can follow along.
And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, This is a law of the Torah which Yahweh has commanded, saying, Speak to the children of Israel that they bring you a red heifer, a perfect one, in which there is no blemish, and on which a yoke has never come. And you shall give it to Eleazar the priest, and he shall bring it outside the camp, and shall slaughter it before him. And Eleazar the priest shall take some of its blood from his finger, and sprinkle some of its blood 7 times towards the front of the tent of meeting. And the heifer shall be burned before his eyes. He burns its hide, and its flesh, and its blood, and its dung. And the priest shall take cedar wood, and hyssop, and scarlet, and throw them into the midst of the fire burning the heifer. The priest shall then wash his garments, and shall bathe his body in water, and afterward come to the camp, but the priest is unclean until evening. And he who is burning it washes his garments in water, and shall bathe his body in water, and is unclean until evening. And a clean man shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and shall place them outside the camp in a clean place. And they shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel, for the water for uncleanness. It is for cleansing from sin.
Okay, let's hear the verse 9 in the Hebrew.
וידבר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון לאמור. זאת חוקת התורה אשר ציווה אדוני לאמור. דבר אל בני ישראל, ויקחו אליך פרה אדומה תמימה, אשר אין בה מום, אשר לא עלה עליה עול. ונשאתם אותך אל אלעזר הכהן, והוציא אותך אל מחוץ למחנה, וסחט אותך לפניו. ולקח אלעזר הכהן מדמך באצבעו, והיזה אל נוכח פני אוהל מועד מדמך 7 פעמים. ושרף את הפרה לעיניו, את אורח ואת בשרח ואת דמך, על פרשה ישרוף. ולקח הכהן עץ ארז ואזוב ושני תולעת, והשליך אל תוך שריפת הפרה, וכיבס בגדיו הכהן, ורחץ בשרו במים, ואחר יבוא אל המחנה, וטמא הכהן עד הארץ. והשורף אותה יכבס בגדיו במים, ורחץ בשרו במים, וטמא עד הארץ. ואסף איש טהור את עשר הפרה, והניח מחוץ למחנה במקום טהור, והייתה לעדת בני ישראל למשמרת למי נידה, חטאת היא.
Okay. And verse 10. And he who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his garments, and is unclean until evening. And it shall be a law forever to the children of Israel, and to the stranger who sojourns in their midst. He who touches the dead of any human being is unclean for 7 days. He is to cleanse himself with the water on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day he is clean. But if he does not cleanse himself on the 3rd day, then on the 7th day he is not clean. Anyone who touches the dead of a human being and does not cleanse himself defiles the dwelling place of Yahweh, and that being shall be cut off from Israel. He is clean, for the water for uncleanness was not sprinkled on him. His uncleanness is still upon him. This is the Torah when a man dies in a tent. All who come into the tent and all who are in the tent are unclean for 7 days, and every open vessel which has no cover fastened on it is unclean. Anyone in the open field who touches someone slain by a sword, or who has died, or a bone of a man, or a grave is unclean for 7 days. Okay, let's hear this in the Hebrew to verse 16.
וכיבס האוסף את עשר הפרה את בגדיו, וטמא עד הארץ. והייתה לבני ישראל ולגר הגר בתוכם לחוקת עולם. הנוגע במת לכל נפש אדם, וטמא 7 ימים. הוא יתחטבו ביום השלישי, וביום השביעי יטהר. ואם לא יתחטא ביום השלישי, וביום השביעי לא יטהר. כל הנוגע במת בנפש האדם אשר ימות ולא יתחטא, את משכן אדוני טימא. ונכרתה הנפש ההיא מישראל, כי מי נידה לא זורק עליו, טמא יהיה, עוד טומאתו בו. זאת התורה, אדם כי ימות באוהל, כל הבא אל האוהל וכל אשר באוהל, יטמא 7 ימים. וכל כלי פתוח אשר אין צמיד פתיל עליו, טמא הוא. וכל אשר ייגע על פני השדה, בחלל חרב או במת, או בעצם אדם או בקבר, יטמא 7 ימים.
Okay, verse 17.
And for the unclean being, they shall take some of the ashes of the heifer, burnt for cleansing from sin, and running water shall be put on them in a vessel. And a clean man shall take hyssop and dip it in the water, and shall sprinkle it on the tent, and on all the vessels, and on the being who were there, or on the one who touched a bone, or the slain, or the dead, or a grave. And the clean one shall sprinkle the unclean on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day. And on the 7th day he shall cleanse himself, and shall wash his garments, and bathe in water, and shall be clean in the evening. But the man who is unclean, and does not cleanse himself, that being shall be cut off from among the assembly, because he has defiled the set-apart place of Yahweh. Water for uncleanness has not been sprinkled on him, he is unclean. And it shall be a law for them forever. And the one who sprinkles the water for uncleanness washes his garments, and the one who touches the water for uncleanness is unclean until evening. And whatever the unclean being touches is unclean. and the being who touches it is unclean until evening.
Okay, let's hear to verse 22 in the Hebrew.
ולקחו לטמא מעפר שריפת החטאת, ונתן עליו מים חיים אל כלי, ולקח אזוב וטבל במים איש טהור, והיזה על האוהל ועל כל הכלים, ועל הנפשות אשר היו שם, ועל הנוגע בעצם או בחלל, או במת או בקבר. והיזה הטהור על הטמא ביום השלישי וביום השביעי, וחיטאו ביום השביעי, וכיבס בגדיו ורחץ במים, וטהר בארץ. ואיש אשר יטמא ולא יתחטא, ונכרתה הנפש ההיא מתוך הקהל, כי את מקדש אדוני טימא, מי נידה לא זורק עליו, טמא הוא. והייתה להם לחוקת עולם, ומזה מי הנידה יכבס בגדיו, והנוגע במי הנידה יטמא עד הארץ. וכל אשר ייגע בו הטמא יטמא, והנפש הנוגעת תטמא עד הארץ.
Okay, that is the end of chapter 22. And so there's a lot going on here. So I think one of the things talking about the red heifer being for purification, right? And anytime the person had become impure, they'd have to come, get sprinkled with the water that had the ashes of the red heifer, and then they would be considered clean, right? So I believe technically that's why they say that now that there is no temple, there's nobody sprinkling the ashes of the red heifer, or there is no red heifer, right? So that's why everybody is technically impure and unclean, right? Technically, right? According to this technicality. I think it's also interesting the elements that go with the sacrifice. It had to be a perfect red heifer that had no blemish, no yoke, right? And they did it with cedar wood. They took it also along with cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet, right? All the elements of the offering. And in the study by Rico Cortez, he was mentioning how there's a connection between the red heifer and the golden calf, right? So
It'll be the opposite, right?
The antidote, right?
The antidote.
Yeah. And he also mentioned how the red heifer, a cow, represents like Israel as a woman. They're always described Israel as a woman. So the red heifer describes Israel, and it's all red, which represents sin, right? And so, yeah, that's interesting. The other thing is that it was taken outside and slaughtered outside of the camp, which is another parallel to Yeshua's death and then resurrection. Anything you wanted to add?
Just that the place where Yeshua died is not the one that Christianity has been directing people to believe.
The tourist location.
The tourist location, correct. But it was exactly in the place that it should be, in the Mount of Olives, facing the Mishkan. So there are many things, that throughout the years had been like hidden, and now they are in the open because it is the time, I believe the time of the Gentiles is finished, and the time of Israel to come back to Abba as the prodigal son it's here, right? Has come. And also how the red heifer is the opposite of the golden calf. The other one will contaminate or contaminated the people and cause destruction. And this mother, in a way, right, is the one who comes and does exactly the opposite as the baby golden calf. And it brings cleansing, it brings restoration, and from impurity to purity, from uncleanness to cleansing, and it's very interesting because one of the things that people debate, what Yeshua came to do, right? And Yeshua came for redemption this time. He came like a lamb to the slaughter to redeem us. They paid for him 30 pieces of silver. Silver means, redemption, purchase of something like when Joseph was sold as a slave. And 30 is the price for a maiden, right? For a woman slave, I believe. I don't know if I'm right, but it's very interesting how Yeshua came to pay the price, because in a way we all has been destitute from the splendor of Yahweh. All of us, like people say, we don't have anymore the sprinkling of the red heifer, the water with the red heifer. So the only thing that we have in our case is Yahshua HaMashiach, bringing that restoration and that cleansing so that we can come next to the Father. For during the time of his death, the temple veil rented and it was opened, meaning, through his death, we can come before the presence of the Father through him, which is the dalet, the door to come to the Father.
Yeah, so there's a lot to this, and we will get more into it, but we'll stop there for today, and we're going to continue with chapter 20 on Wednesday.
Very
we can
good.
pay the blessing to close.
Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Yahweh, noten haTorah. Amen.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. Be the salt of this earth, the light of this world. Shalom.